Hey, it's Berezaa. I'm doing a tutorial on how to make a Tycoon today. And I was actually already recording, but no surprise, Roblox Studio decided to crash, so I'm going to have to start over. First thing you want to do is you're going to want to have models for a gate, buy button, giver, conveyor, money collector, and then a money giver. Once you have all that, you're going to want to make a model in the workspace called Tycoons, and another model called Bright Red. That's going to be the color of our first Tycoon. Now you want to put a object value inside of that called owner. You're going to want a model called buttons. You're going to put your gate model right into the Tycoon model. And then you're going to have a model called purchases. So we have our gate right now, and we can script that later. For now, we're just going to make that into a humanoid so we can get a fancy little text over it. So we're going to take this, that's the part you want to touch. We're going to throw humanoid into there. Humanoid, alright, now we're going to set the health of that to 0, 0. We're going to make that the head, so it's got a name. I'm going to refresh that so it realizes there's a head. Beautiful, and then touch to claim ownership. We are right back on track. So far we got the model for the Tycoons, we got the Tycoon, we got owner, buttons, gate, purchases. Great. Touch to claim ownership. Now we're going to want to deal with the buttons. We're going to want to take this button, we're going to want to, we're going to want to move it into buttons. God, this does not like me today. We're going to make a model for this. We're going to name this buy dropper, and it's going to be free because we're nice people today. So I got to get rid of that space. I hate my life. Alright, so we have something going for us at least. Buy dropper $0. We're going to want to name this head. We're going to want to throw that in there. We're going to want to put in another humanoid. And then we're going to set the health of the humanoid to 0, 0. Alright, now what we're going to do is in the button, we're going to want to put an int value, and that is going to be called price. And then we're going to put in a string value, and that's going to be called object. Now, instead of putting a script into every single button, let's make this red, by the way. We're going to put one script that handles all the buttons. So, we're going to put that into the Tycoon model, and we're going to name that purchase handler. Purchase handler. So, first thing we're going to do is script dot parent. Alright, we want to be really careful about this, so we're going to tell script.parent to wait for child buttons. We want to make sure all the buttons are there before we start anything. So we're going to be doing some regenerating Tycoons later. We want to make sure nothing breaks. So first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that script.parent waits for buttons. Don't want to start without buttons. And then for IV, in pairs script.parent.buttons children do. Okay. So now we have all the children of buttons, and what we're going to do is if we find first child head, then we want to make sure it's actually a button. Just a lot of safety precautions here. We don't want anything to break. So if that's true, then v.head.touched connect function hit. Now we have a function that picks up whenever our buy button is touched. First thing we want to do is we're going to want to make sure it's a person. So local player equals game.players get player from character hit.parent. Basically, if it's a person that touches it, it's going to return a player. We want to make sure that there is a player, so if the player is not nil, then we're going to proceed. Now we want to make sure that the player is indeed the owner of the Tycoon. So if script.parent.owner.value equals player. So we're going to have a predetermined value here called owner, and that's going to be the owner of the Tycoon, obviously. We want to make sure the person buying actually is that. Now, we might have some people dying in our Tycoons. We want to make sure there aren't any mistakes. So we want to make sure that the person is alive when they press the button, just to be safe. I've had some problems with people buying stuff when they die because their body parts get flung. So if hit dot parent find first child humanoid. Oh my god, don't tell me Roblox Studio crashed again. Okay, there we go, thank god. Then, alright, we get to move on. And if hit dot parent dot humanoid dot health is greater than 0, then we want to make sure it's alive, alright? As long as you're alive when you're trying to buy that button, we are golden. Whew. Okay, here we go. Now we want to make sure they have enough money to buy it. And we are actually going to store our money in the server storage to make sure it's safe. It's going to be fun, right? So, let's just make that right away. We're going to go into server storage so we know what we're working with. We're just going to make, I'm going to make it fancy. I want to make it smoke, because it's like the cloud, you know? And then the smoke is going to be money storage. Alright, so basically what we're going to do, what it's going to look like, is we're going to have a script so that when someone joins, they're going to have a number value, not an int value, and I'll explain that later. We're going to have a number value with their name as a thing, and that's going to say how much money they have. So, we want to make sure that's there too. So, if game.serverStorage.moneyStorage. No, let's make this easier. Local cache money equals game.serverStorage.moneyStorage find first child player.name. If cache money is not nil, we want to make sure that's not there. I mean, we want to make sure that their money value is there in case our script messed up. We don't want the button to suddenly break. Then what we're going to do is if cache money dot value is greater than or equal to v, which is our button model, dot price dot value then. So we want to make sure that they have more money than the cost of whatever they're trying to buy. If they do, then we go ahead and we move on to the next fun step. This is all turning out to be a really fun adventure. Okay. If they have enough money, then we are going to commence the purchase. Let's go. Fun. We are going to first off deduct money from their thing. So cash money dot value equals cash money dot value minus v dot price. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to deduct it right away. And then okay. And then I'm just going to do something nice for myself up here. Now that we're going to do that, we actually forgot a step, so function get object name. Basically what we're going to want to do is we would just want to make it so we can just put in a string and we can get the model and purchase. So return script.parent.purchases find first child name. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. So what we're going to want to do is we have our event here. What we're going to actually want to do for all the buttons is we're going to want to keep a clone of what they want us to buy, and then we want to delete what they want us to buy. So first thing we want to do is local object equals get object. We are never going to need this. So script.parent.purchases find first child v.object.value. Basically what this is going to do is it's going to look for an object by the name of the button. And let's keep going. Sorry, I just blacked out for a second. So, if object is not nil, then we're going to want to, up here, let's define an array. Objects is an array. That's an empty array, we're defining it up there. So objects, object.name equals object clone. Now let's just take a second to think about what this means. We've got an array here, an empty array, which is global to the entire script. And what we're doing over here is we're saying that for the name of the object, it's the object, basically. We have a backup of the object that we're going to use later. Now that we have that, we are going to want to destroy the object. That's just cruel, right? And now we have that. So for all the buttons, we're going to go through them, and we're going to get the object, and we're going to destroy the object. Sounds fun, right? Else, if the object does not exist. Now this is actually a fun one. We're just going to make the button disappear. If the object doesn't exist, we're going to want to say print button v.name is missing its object and has been removed. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to make this button disappear. So v.canCollide equals false, v.transparency equals 1. Now what we want to do down here is we don't want anyone to buy any missing buttons. So on this whole thing, we're just going to want to make sure if v.head, I want to correct that up here. If v.head.canCollide equals true, then, and right here we're going to put on this, and we're going to table that. So basically, if the object that the button wants us to buy is missing, we make the button disappear. We don't have to worry about that anymore, and we want to make sure that the button hasn't disappeared before we do this. Alright, now what we're going to want to do is right here we confirm the price, and what we're going to want to say, let's have a beautiful model called purchased objects. Okay, and then we're going to want to say objects followed by the v.object.value .parent equals script.parent.purchased objects. Okay, basically at this point we have something that deletes the thing which is going to be in here at the beginning. This is going to go away until we buy it by touching this. Now we're going to take this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dropper. This is just truly a work of art. And we're going to turn that into dropper 1, and we're going to turn that into purchases. That's going to be something that you can purchase. And then over here, we're going to name it, we're going to group this. We're actually going to make this viable because we're cruel people. We're going to name this Walls 1. Conveyor Walls 1. I don't know, we might want to upgrade that later. So we're going to put that in purchases too because we're just cruel people. And then we're going to want to clone our little button over here. And we're going to move that. Ooh, bad idea. I'm just going to scope in to where it is so I can. There we go. Duplicate, new move. So we can take this over here, and we're going to have a button here that says buy conveyor walls for a hefty $10. You can have conveyor walls. Right here, we're going to set the price to 10. We're going to set the object to con walls 1. Over here, we're going to want to set the object to dropper 1, and the price is still going to be 0. Okay, so we have our good friend, the dropper over here. And then we have the con walls. Oh my god, I just got a text message. I'm going to ignore that for now. Now we're going to worry about something that we've been ignoring until now, the money collector. We're going to group this into a beautiful, beautiful thing. We're going to put that on its own into the Tycoon model. And we're going to name this Collector. In here, we're going to have the top part, which is not going to have anything to do with anything. You're not going to be able to touch it. But we need that because that is going to be our good friend, the humanoid. Model. There we go. We're going to throw this in there, name it head, and we're going to steal the humanoid from here. And then we'll say cash to collect. Oh, you got $0 to collect. So sad. Okay. So we got that locked down. Now, what we're going to do we're going to go back to the buttons. When you buy something, we're going to make the button become irrelevant. v.head.canCollide equals false. v.head.transparency equals black. So we're going to make everything irrelevant, and we're going to put a wait for a whole second up here, and I'm going to explain why in a minute later. So if something is hit, and the button's working as it should be, and the player exists, and the player's the owner, and the player's a humanoid, and the player's alive, and the player has enough money, then we can finally buy an object. That's just going to clone the object into existence. Holy, oh my god, I'm being texted, I'm sorry. Yeah, so we got buying set up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into our good friend Tycoons, and we are going to have something nasty. It's not really nasty, I don't know why I'm calling it nasty, and this is going to be our control core. Nah, that's too lame. Core script. That sounds fun. So, game.players.player added connect function player. Local cash money equals instance.new. Now remember, this one's going to be a number value, and you'll see why in a second. Cash money. No, I think we can make it in there right away, and we're going to put that directly into game.serverStorage.moneyStorage. There we go. Cash money.name equals player.name. Okie dokie, we got that set. Now, game.players.player removing connect function player. What is this one right here? Oh, my bad. What is going on? Oh, there we go. So, when a player's about to leave the game, we are going to local cash money equals game.serverStorage.moneyStorage, find first child, player.name, and then if cash money is not null, then cash money destroy. We are just evil today, aren't we? Okay, we have that set up. Now we're gonna have to do something even nastier, and we're actually gonna go even further. local is owner equals instance.new bool value. We're gonna put that into cash money. And is owner name is owner of there we go. So basically we don't need that. If they own a Tycoon, we can know. So we put that in. And then you'll see why in a minute when we go to the game. Basically, when a player joins, we stuff values into server storage. Okay. Now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to do the gate. Everyone's favorite part of this whole shindig. So, we are going to put the gate controls into there, unfortunately. For time's sake, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to name this gate control. Fun, right? So, script.parent.head.touch connect function hit if game.players get player from character hit.parent. Then what am I doing? I'm messing up right away. Local player equals if player is not nil, then local owns Tycoon equals game dot server storage dot money storage. We're actually gonna name this cash money. Find first child player dot name. We're gonna want to make sure if cash money is not nil, then local owns Tycoon equals cash money. Find first child. What did we name it again? We named it owns Tycoon. Then if owns Tycoon is not nil, then owns Tycoon. I'm sorry. Okay. If that is not nil, then what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Then we're gonna make them the owner, I guess. Oh, I'm so stupid. We're gonna want to make sure that no one already owns the Tycoon. It'd be really silly if you could just steal someone's Tycoon. Don't you guys think so? So, if script.parent.parent.owner.value equals nil, then we want to make sure that there is no owner to that Tycoon. And then when someone touches the Tycoon, we are going to want to, what are we going to want to do? Okay, so we've made sure that there's no owner. We've made sure that they don't own a Tycoon already. What else can we do to make sure everything's standing? Let's make sure they're alive. We don't want anyone's body parts accidentally falling and touching a Tycoon. You never know. So if hit.parent find first child humanoid, then if hit.parent.humanoid.health is greater than 0, then alright, we've made sure they're alive. So now we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna give them a go-ho, we're gonna set them the owner of the Tycoon. So script.parent.parent.owner.value equals player, owns Tycoon equals dot value equals true. There we go. So if owns Tycoon is not nil. Oh my god, I forgot. If owns Tycoon dot value equals false. I am just making so many mistakes right now. So we want to make sure they don't own a Tycoon. What does this want? Then, alright, there we go. So, we want to make sure that they don't own a Tycoon. We want to make sure that now we're going to say that they do own the Tycoon, and we're going to say script.parent.name equals Tycoon owned by... No. That's not fancy at all. Player.name Tycoon. So we're going to set the name to say that it's their Tycoon so that the gate will tell us that it is their Tycoon instead of subject claim ownership. And we're going to want to say script.parent.head.transparency. It's 0.6. We're going to keep it a little bit transparent. And script.parent.head.concollide equals true. Okay. We have the most basic of the basics here. Now we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to add insert service teams. We want teams in here, and we're going to go back to the core script, and we're going to say for IV in pairs, script.parent get children do if V is a model, then we want to make sure that scripts are included in this. Then local color team color equals brick color dot new v.name. This is going to require all the Tycoons to be named after a brick color. So if team color is not nil, then we want to make sure we actually have a brick color here. If that's actually a brick color, then local team equals instance.new team game.teams team.name equals v.name. That took way so long, I'm sorry. Team.auto signable equals false. Team.team color equals team color. There we go. Beautiful. Basically, this is going to automatically make the teams for you based on the Tycoon. And then, along with that, we're going to go back to the gate, and we're going to set, when someone buys it, we're going to set their team color to player.team color equals team color dot what am I doing? Equals brick color dot new script dot parent dot name. There we go. So we're gonna want to save them back up here because I really don't want Roblox to mess this up. Tycoon. Back up. And we're gonna test it. We're gonna go into play solo. Let's hope this works. I really hope this works. I'm gonna cry if it doesn't. Oh, look at that. We found an error so fast. Okay. What's the problem? Alright, I got it. For IV, this is so hard to read. For IV. Reset. Okay, for IV in pairs, script dot. How was that? Alright, we're looking at purchase handler. Script.parent.buttons get children to. I'm sorry, I have to look at that again. Don't ask me again. Okay. View output. What is wrong right here? Get children. Oh, I misspelled children. This is so embarrassing. I'm so sorry. Reset. So let's just fix that. Children. We want to make sure our children are properly spelled. Okay. So, we forgot to actually make it a leaderboard. We forgot a lot of things. We're going to go back really fast. We're going to do a bunch of stuff first. First, game.teams. We have to make a team. Let's name it For hire. Let's call it that. That's a nice name. We'll make it auto-assignable, and we'll make it that. So we have a team to go to. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to go to free models for this. Yay! But we need a leaderboard. And unless you want to write up your own KO wipeout leaderboard, we're going to be doing that. Actually, we're not going to be doing KOs and wipeouts. I got a better idea. Core script. So when a player joins, we're going to wait 5 seconds. Okay, so local leader stats equals instance.new. Okay, we're going to be using something with KOs here. So we're going to go to ROBLOX sets and game stuff, and we're going to put in a nice little leaderboard. First thing I'm going to do, we're going to want to remove the linked source because that will break the script. And okay, I'm retarded today, I'm retarded, and I want to apologize. We're just going to go here and edit the script, right? And that should automatically remove the linked source. Great. So we don't need that anymore. And what we're going to do is when it defines the leader things right here, where is it? Here we go. And then over here, I'm going to put local cache equals instance.new int value. Cache.name equals cache. Cache.value equals 0. Okay, and then cache.parent equals stats. Now what we're going to do with this beauty is we're going to say local real cache, cache money, we're going to be confusing here, equals game.server storage. Let's make people start with $5. Let's be really, no, that's not the right way to do it. Cache money, server storage dot money storage, get children, find first child, new player time, new player dot name. Okay, we want to make sure cache money is not nil. So if cache money is not nil, then it should not be nil. Then cache money dot changed connect function cache dot value equals cache money dot value. Basically, the cache in the leader stat isn't going to be real cache. The real cache is going to be safely stored in server storage. It's not going to be accessible to the clients. So let's test it. Okay. Okay, that's a bad sign. Okay, no, it's a good sign. Everything's working. So let's see how it works. So we're going to change our cache. Oh, I forgot to delete Berezaa. It's alright. We'll change our cache to $5 and boom, it's on the leaderboard. And then we're going to touch this and alright. Forgot to set the can collide on that. We'll get to work on that. But I now own this Tycoon. Go over here and I can buy a dropper. Boom, I just bought a dropper. I cannot buy the conveyor walls because I do not have enough money. But if I set my money to 10, I can buy the conveyor walls and I lose the money. So boom, everything in our Tycoon is nice and operational right now. So over here, I'm going to remove that because that can get another number. And we're going to go into gate control. And we're going to set can collide to false. Okay. So we're actually going to stop here. We have the basics of our Tycoon. And we're going to get to work on this again later.